GeoLenz. See beyond the surface. Far beyond the reach of cities, roads, and even trees, there lies a silent world of endless white, the Arctic, untouched and mysterious. For centuries, this frozen desert has remained still, a place where time itself seems to slow down under the weight of the cold. Only the toughest creatures survive here: polar bears, seals, and humans who have learned to live with the ice, not against it. But the Arctic we once knew is disappearing. The ice that held for thousands of years is melting, faster than anyone ever imagined. And as the ice retreats, it reveals something powerful beneath. Vast seas, new passages, and resources the world is eager to claim. Hidden under this frozen ocean lies immense wealth: oil, gas, and minerals worth trillions. But with that wealth comes competition. Now, global powers are turning their eyes north, racing to stake their claim on the last untouched frontier of Earth. This is more than a story of melting ice. It's the beginning of a new global struggle, the new Cold War, the battle for the Arctic. The Arctic, once a frozen fortress of ice, is now at the front line of climate change. What was once a stable sheet of snow and ice is now cracking, melting, and retreating faster than ever before. The IPCC report says the Arctic warmed over 3 times faster than the global average between 1979 and 2020. As the ice thins, the rhythm of Arctic seasons is shifting. Winters shorten, summers grow hotter. NASA notes Arctic summer sea ice is dropping over 12% per decade, a clear sign of warming. The loss of sea ice doesn't just reshape the landscape. It reshapes the planet's balance, reflecting less sunlight and absorbing more heat. Scientists call this feedback loop Arctic amplification, speeding up global warming and affecting weather worldwide. Each summer, more of the Arctic Ocean stays ice-free, opening waters frozen for thousands of years. The Arctic is more than frozen land for Russia. It's a strategic lifeline and a symbol of national pride. Stretching across nearly half of the Arctic Circle, Russia holds the largest Arctic coastline on Earth. Beneath its ice lie massive reserves of oil, gas, and minerals, key to Russia's future economy. Russia's Arctic zone accounts for about 15% of its GDP and nearly a quarter of its total exports. By operating the largest fleet of nuclear icebreakers and deploying nearly 2/3 of its naval force, Russia cements its military grip on the Arctic frontier. The Northern Fleet guards shipping routes and resource corridors, projecting Moscow's power across the icy seas. The Northern Sea Route is becoming a new maritime highway linking Europe and Asia, turning melting ice into economic opportunity. Russia's Arctic dream is bold, but it's being built on thin ice that melts a little faster every year. As Russia strengthens its grip on the Arctic, Western powers are stepping up their presence, ensuring the region doesn't fall under a single nation's control. NATO sees the Arctic not just as ice and snow, but as a strategic frontier critical to global security. New military bases, radar stations, and joint operations are emerging across Northern Europe, from Norway to Finland and Sweden. NATO will conduct the Nordic Response Exercise across northern Norway, Finland, and Sweden. More than 20,000 soldiers from 13 nations will practice joint operations, preparing for Arctic challenges. These exercises test coordination, mobility, and readiness, showing that the West is prepared for the harsh and unpredictable Arctic. Advanced ice-capable ships, Arctic-trained troops, and surveillance aircraft are now a common sight in the region. The goal is clear: to maintain balance, secure shipping routes, and deter aggression in the high north. The Arctic, once a quiet, frozen frontier, is now a stage where global powers meet, not just for resources, but for influence, strategy, and survival. As the Arctic melts and new opportunities emerge, China has steadily increased its presence in the high north. China describes itself as a near-Arctic state and an important stakeholder in Arctic affairs, emphasizing its geographic proximity to the Arctic Circle. Beyond science, these stations symbolize China's strategic interest in Arctic trade routes, natural resources, and international influence. To strengthen its role, China has built many Arctic research stations and laboratories across the region. China's ambitions in the Arctic demonstrate how the frozen north has become a stage for global power, research, and diplomacy. As Arctic ice melts, new shipping routes are opening, connecting Asia, Europe, and North America like never before. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the Arctic could contain nearly a quarter of the world's untapped oil and gas reserves. But with opportunity comes great risk. Fragile ecosystems, wildlife, and indigenous communities face unprecedented threats. Ships burning heavy fuel oil release black carbon, a pollutant that accelerates warming and is extremely difficult to clean up once spilled. Corporations see gold in these waters, but nature pays the price. Icebergs, oil spills, and chemical runoff could leave lasting scars. The Arctic is no longer just frozen wilderness. It's the new arena for resource competition, economic gain, and environmental concern. The Arctic is at a crossroads. Its ice is melting faster than ever, and the world is watching closely. Since the start of the Industrial Revolution, global temperatures have risen by 1.2 degrees Celsius, but the Arctic has warmed 3 times faster, around 3 degrees Celsius, with severe consequences for both communities and ecosystems. Scientists warn that continued warming could open new sea routes, but also trigger stronger storms, rising seas, and unpredictable weather worldwide. Nations are racing to secure influence, resources, and shipping lanes, yet the Arctic remains a fragile ecosystem on the brink. Indigenous communities face both opportunity and threat. Their traditional ways of life are being reshaped by climate change and global interests. The Arctic's future will be shaped by science, diplomacy, and the choices humanity makes today. The question remains: will the Arctic become a symbol of cooperation or a new arena for conflict? The North is no longer distant and untouched. It is central to the planet's climate, economy, and geopolitical balance.